A wise person once said, "A happy heart is a good medicine." There once was a little boy named Levi, born on April 22nd at 28 and a half weeks, 12 weeks premature, and born with Shone's disease, a congenital type of heart disease. He was the smallest, cutest little baby the family had ever seen, not even 2 pounds in weight. His older sister always loved visiting him in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, pretending to be a little doctor and assisting the nurses. At only 2 weeks old, he had his first surgery to fix the coarctation of his aorta. There were many laughs and smiles and tons of pictures taken after the surgery. The little girl was only 4.5 years old when he was born, about to explode with excitement for a new sibling. She was fascinated with all the machines they used to keep him alive and used the stethoscopes to check his heartbeat daily. She knew her brother was adorable, but the thing she loved most about him was his smile. As the months went on, she made more and more memories and saw new machines, such as the CPAP breathing device. This machine provides continuous positive airway pressure, so when you breathe in, your airway does not collapse. The little girl was very happy. Her family was going daily to spend time with her new baby brother. On December 5th, Levi passed away unexpectedly after an open heart surgery. All the excitement that had built up was deflated, and they didn't understand why he was gone. They never fully comprehended what happened. Throughout their time at the hospital, and after their son and brother had passed away, the family received immense support from the medical and support staff at the Children's Hospital. Doctors are supposed to have emotional boundaries with their patients, because if they get too attached, it can be emotionally overwhelming. The day before Levi's funeral, there was a prayer service for all the parents and family and friends who wanted to pay their respects to little Levi. Unbeknownst to anyone, Levi's heart surgeon attended his prayer service. When the family told this had occurred to all the doctors and nurses, they were surprised, since that had never happened before. Now, every year on Levi's birthday, the family releases balloons into the air in honor of their little gentleman, never forgetting him and all the support they had received in those hard times. I believe in medical careers that human interaction is crucial, since that person will never be fully treated without this important element. Even if you are just making conversation or showing you care, it is imperative, because that benefits both patient and family. Medical studies have shown that babies in NICU have a higher survival rate when having someone hold them and having a good connection. So don't you think if a patient has a better connection with their doctor, they will also have a higher survival rate? In this day and age, I find everyone is on electronics, including me. One day, I looked down the street and I saw 7 out of 10 people on their phones in one block. I find people aren't as genuine and interactive anymore, which I think will adversely affect communities in the future. Here's an example of good human interaction. Babies' list of demands are straightforward. They need food, sleep, and frequent diaper changes. But most crucial on their list is cuddling. Ruth Feldman did a study on premature infants that shows a new angle on why our species is so powerfully craving for cuddles. These babies that get constant cuddling tend to sleep better, manage stress more easily, and have better autonomic functions such as heart rate. In most NICUs today, kangaroo care is being used. But in the 1990s, most hospitals thought that exposing preemies to germs outweighed the benefits of holding them. In 1996, Ruth Feldman assembled 2 sample groups of 73 babies each at 2 different hospitals. One got standard care, and one got kangaroo care. Then they examined the babies when they were 3, 6, 12, and 24 months old, and again when they were 5 and 10 years old. These babies that had received kangaroo care excelled in numerous activities, such as having better respiration and heart rate, a better span of attention, and more predictable sleep patterns. Even 10 years later, the benefits of kangaroo care were shown. 10-year-olds exhibited better stress management than their counterparts. In most NICUs today, kangaroo care is being practiced, but for places that don't already practice it, the study speaks for itself. Not only do medical professions require this good human interaction, so do many others, one of which are teachers. Teachers encourage children of the younger generation to be who they are and to try their best. They mold the new minds and give students the necessary motivation to overcome problems even when they seem impossible. All the teachers I have had have a personal connection with the students and were there to talk to, whether it was personal or school related. I find that this connection motivates me to do better and makes me feel safe and wanted in class. Knowing that my teacher cares for me is a feeling that all students should experience. Everyone faces a dark moment in their life, and my darkest moment, I believe, has inspired me to become a doctor. The picture of the boy in the first slideshow is my little brother. And as I mentioned earlier, it was very unusual when Levi's heart surgeon came to his prayer service. But that act of kindness showed the human compassion all patients and their families need. Now, I'm not saying all doctors should come to their patients' funerals, but this is a prominent example of how doctors can be emotional anchors for patients and be there for them in their times of need. Along with Levi's story, my mom has rheumatoid arthritis, my grandfather in Colombia has Alzheimer's, and recently, on April 27th, our parish priest and family friend of ours passed away after a long struggle with brain cancer. All these constant life struggles furthermore push me to want to become a doctor, to try and prevent the sadness that death delivers, and to be that emotional anchor when possible. I cannot stress how important these relationships are, whether you know the person or not. Knowing that a medical professional cares for you, and you're not just another patient in room 200 or another person on that checklist for today, is essential to feeling better, becoming healthy, and possibly free of disease. I believe that this interaction improves the patient's mental health and well-being, subsequently aiding to their physical recovery. Doctors need to have this ability of relating to others, speaking to strangers, being very personable, and having excellent bedside manners. A few years ago, my mom was wrongly diagnosed for having a pneumonia. The doctor that came to treat her didn't even step in the room and diagnosed her from the hospital room door. Later, when she was transferred to a different ward of the hospital and seen by a different doctor, he stated that she had a gallbladder problem. These are two completely different medical issues, and it is completely absurd that this doctor didn't even interact with my mom to figure out what she had. On the contrary, my family has depended on many supportive and approachable doctors, one of which is my mom's rheumatologist. Hopefully, this wrong diagnosis was an isolated incident, but these problems will become more frequent and more dangerous for patients if we don't put a stop to this lack of interaction. Your health has the power to make your life what it is, and so do your losses. When you're happy, you feel like you're on top of the world and nothing can stop you. Finding out that a family member is sick can be depressing, or it can make you cherish the time you have with them. It can also completely break the person or empower them to overcome whatever sickness they may have. I find that sickness brings people together because we need each other, especially in hard times. People become more understanding and more giving and are there for you. Health is a very broad term. It can refer to mental health, like anxiety and depression, physical health, or even spiritual health. I believe it is one of the most powerful things in the world. It has the power to make you the most hateful or the most grateful. It has the power to make you miserable or the happiest person on earth. Levi is the main reason I want to be a doctor, and an example to me of a huge struggle in life. Whenever I think of medicine, I think of the incubators and the surgeries. Whenever I think that school, sports, or life is too much, I think of Levi's struggles and I push on. So hopefully one day I will be a doctor, giving people good news about their health or helping them if things aren't looking too good. The reason I'm here to talk to you today is to encourage other young people to follow their dream careers, to interact with others, and to strive to support others. When you think about it, all life comes down to is helping others and relationships with them. So take your painful memories as fuel and motivation and forge them into positive, powerful new dreams, not only to help yourself, but also to help others. Sometimes you just have to sit and think, what am I doing? And is it actually helping anyone? At the end of the day, we need each other. We depend on each other to survive, and we don't want to be alone. This generation of teens is too caught up in social media, popularity, and fame in an attempt to find a sense of belonging. But they forget that a better way to belong to a community is to be a person someone can count on. I'm not saying professions in music or acting are bad. Many musicians and actors help people through the meaning of their music or through charity. I'm saying we need more compassion and a lot more authenticity in this world, especially when we are right now prey to terrorist attacks, wars, epidemics of diseases, and world hunger. A way we can start this flow of compassion is by choosing careers you actually like that benefit others. I am, for my part, thinking that we need more doctors and nurses to keep the flow of health in rich countries, but even more in third world countries, because they need more help than they are being given. So instead of looking for popularity and fame, choose a career you actually enjoy. And don't just choose a job you hate because it pays well. Find a job that fulfills you and makes you, you. There are so many different and unique job choices nowadays, it's incredible. I find my interest lies in medicine. So what are your interests, and how will you help the world? Perhaps as a great sculptor or musician, brightening up the world with creativity and teaching us a new way of expression. You can take creative careers like this and expand and transform them even more. For example, you can be artistic by designing machines and buildings that are eco-friendly to expand a city. Think of the ways you can help others, even if it's only one person. And if you feel like you aren't helping anyone, figure out a way it can. Look at the ways you can be of service to others. Look at the human, vulnerable, and emotional side of situations. Look at the little acts of kindness that show the human compassion all patients and their families need. Thank you.